Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Liberty Traders Bitcoin update. What a nice sight we have now with this wonderful rise in price. I mean, that is absolutely amazing. You know, we spoke about these levels in our last stream, and it's just absolutely amazing to see how these levels are respected. So let's dig in and see exactly what happened, what is going to happen next, what we can start anticipating for the next move coming on Bitcoin. So as we can see, I left these volume levels on, and we've come into the second value area low, as I was saying in our previous stream, that if we lose this first value area low, we'll be looking at the furthest one down. And as we can see, we did not really close a daily below that. We took these lows, and we went and tested this 0.86 level. As mentioned, that will be our last support level for this whole range from this low to high. And that was at 18,438. So we just front run the 0.86. That is still valid. That's 100% fine. My biggest thing was staying above this value area low, closing a candle above, then looking for the rise. Obviously, how beautiful it is how we took these lows. So to me, that was no worries at all. As I was saying, you do not stress, worry about anything at these lows at support. I was mentioning that if we stay above this value area low, get it back above this one. But even before we got above this value area low, I was saying that we're now looking at the volume. We saw that bullish CVD, and exactly what I was explaining. If we get too many sellers down there, get that bullish CVD, and then you get that short squeeze. So that is absolutely amazing how that played out. And as I was saying, if we do get back above, let's just go a little bit down on the lower term time frame. And as we can see, we just smashed right through that value area low, straight to that point of control. Obviously, we had this resistance coming in over here. And at the time, that was the daily level that we were also looking at, which was acting as resistance. So this was definitely a valid resistance level coming in there. So what we can now see is it literally just smashed through there. And as I was saying, if we do get into that value area low, we can look at that point of control. And then the next level is looking at that value area high. So currently we're very close to the value area high. That is definitely a target that I'll be looking at, but we'll definitely dig in and see what is going on and what are our current resistance levels that we're looking at. So what we can look at the moment, just going to flip on some levels and see what's going on the chart. As we can see, we've now come into the 618. So that's currently a good support level that we can be aware of. You know, we know that the 618 is absolutely powerful, and we can see we're coming into these high resistance levels. We can see how well this level was acted as resistance in the past. So we can actually just add this level on and just call it a key level. I actually really want this level on. As you can see, it's acted as resistance, support. Obviously, ultimately broke down, but now we're coming to test these levels. So I am definitely aware of this level at the moment. Obviously, it's not the value area high, but we can start looking at, you know, bearish signs, bearish momentum, bearish CVD. Currently, we are getting some bearish CVD locally, and I just want to show you guys this quickly as while we're on the topic. As we can see that, you know, this was a very high wick that's come up there, and currently we are making some heavy bearish CVD. A lot of guys are trying to buy this breakout. So it's not to say that we're not going to go higher, but at the moment for intraday, you know, all depending on the volume that's coming in now, we could possibly just see a little bit of a pullback and forming and keep on with this range that we've got at the moment. So if we do zoom in on the 5 minutes, just quickly going to zoom in there. We had this massive wick. Look at that, you know, currently with a swing failure pattern of all these highs. So we can now just start, you know, monitoring this with being at the 618. We can just start seeing, you know, looking at your fib levels, you know, coming into the 618 area. you just got to monitor this. I just want to do a range profile. So this is just currently the local area. As we can see, this is also the value area high. This is at 22,400. So this is just that local range coming into that massive key resistance, which is a massive SR level. I'm just going to actually call this SR level. So that is a very, very, very big support level. If we now come and claim this level, obviously we can still go and taste that 6.5. We all know how that happens, where you take these highs coming back down. I just want to quickly point out on our Liberty levels, we have come to the previous month equilibrium. So we're currently hovering at the previous month EQ. We don't have any much levels going up. We've obviously got our support pivots on the higher term time frame if we go over to the daily. So obviously we can see there's the previous month high. And we've just got some R1 pivots coming in this 23,600 area. But yeah, we'll see now why that could be possible resistance as well. We could see the momentum is still bearish. Overall, as long as we're making lower highs, that is, can still look for lower. But obviously we've now made that first possible higher low. So that is quite a big level, but I'm going to dig into that now and explain that a bit higher. So on the 4 hour, we've got these two R1 and R pivots, resistance pivots. But yeah, I'm looking more at horizontals and the Fibonacci at the moment as those pivots, but that's just extra confluence coming into these levels. And then as we can also see is, I just quickly want to flip on that speed fan that I've mentioned before. So I've just added it on to today's stream again. So as we can see, we did go over the 618. So the next target is obviously the 0.75 speed fan. So that is also going to be in terms of time and resistance. And when we reach this, we can have a look at where we are on the chart in confluence with other levels. And we can look then for that retrace, possibly looking for a little bit of a retrace. Then what else can we look at? I have mentioned the pitchfork on the previous stream, coming into the 1.618. Obviously went straight through, and we did get a little stop at that pitchfork. Obviously we did get bullish divergences and bullish CVD. Just people were trying to sell and they just kept on getting squeezed up and up and up and up. So eventually we broke that mid channel of this pitchfork, and we're now going towards the 618 and obviously to the top of this pitchfork. So I'm really monitoring this pitchfork. It's absolutely a beautiful pitchfork. We can see it's respected really, really well. So I'm definitely going to monitor this top section, and that's coming in around between 22,500, as we go up to 22,700. So, that's a very big level that I'm looking at. And then also, I mentioned before the 2020 volume, absolutely beautiful. As I was saying, we've come into that 2020 value area low, which is in confluence with a current value area low that we were looking at around 18,700, which was that low. So in confluence, that was just a more precise level. As I was mentioning also in my previous stream, look how well this level was respected back in June, 30th of June. So absolutely beautiful levels, just to be aware of those old range profiles. Obviously, we are looking at the new range, hence you always look at the current range. You don't really need to reference back to the past now, but that's just the way I trade and I like referencing. So currently we got that rejection into that value area low profile into that December range, but also as we can see, this is also a SR level formed around that level coming into this area. As we can see, it's been rejected there quite hard. So this is a very big level. And then obviously we can look at that point of control of that 2020 range. We've got that high volume node, 23,100. So in confluence with the current range profile, we can definitely then just add some more confluence on and see that the current profile range is just this range that we're pulling over here to get your upper resistance levels. We can see that range value area low is coming in at 23,000. And then that naked point of control is coming into 23,900. So that's also a very big level to be aware of as a naked point of control. So we can come up to those levels and test them. we can obviously see again, I'm just quickly going to add this Fibonacci resistance on. We can see that 23,700 area is coming to the 786, and then obviously another last resistance is coming into that 0886, which is coming in at 24,400. So we've definitely got very big resistance because of this volume range. And I'm just always going to still monitor those old profile ranges. But in confluence, as we can see, why we've also come to stop there is from this low to high, or this whole profile, we can see that that's also the value area high that's coming in confluence with that value area low at 22,700. So it's just adding on levels, getting confluence levels, and really looking at where you are. We're at the previous month equilibrium. So at the 618, that's a massive short opportunity if you do see the reaction. So I'm going to monitor this. I'm going to monitor the bearish CVD as we go now, and I can possibly look for a short down to this point of control area. This is a massive volume area. So that could act as high support. We can start looking at things like the 382 and see where that comes in. Yeah, we can see the 382 is coming in there. Ultimately, we don't want to stay down there too long and then obviously look back up again. So for bullishness, we just want to keep looking for that bullish CVD as we drop. Currently, we have come into significant resistance levels for a possible retrace as a little bit of a short and a hedge on your longs. You know, obviously longing these lows, you can start taking some profits and you can start hedging a little bit of your long into a short, and then obviously having your stop loss above certain levels to just make sure you don't hedge yourself and then actually lose out. But at the end of the day, if you hedge yourself on shorts, the price goes up, and you do get stopped out 2% or 3% up looking at resistance, your long will just keep running and your short just gets stopped out. But you can treat your shorts as scalps and you take quick profits. If it does run, you just take profits as you come down. But yeah, I'll have to monitor and see what's coming up next. What else can we be looking at? This is the yeah, I mentioned about the point of control. We can also see, just again, I did mention the 786 is coming in there. Yeah, but 786 is coming into that area, which is quite a significant level of resistance. I'm just going to go back to the normal chart because we can see that the speed and everything is coming in here. So we want to look at confluence of levels. If we do start breaking the 76, this the 0.75, and we start breaking this value area high, we can then ultimately look for higher. That's something we can be aware of as well. What I just want to mention as well is that now that we've got the Fibonacci level showing and we know where the current resistances are, I just want to pop up our big levels. So I'm just going to put these off. We've obviously just got our big monthly and weekly levels. This was a weekly level that we were aware of. This was that big monthly level of support. Obviously, we hovered around that for quite some time. That was about 10 days, and this was absolutely such a beautiful range. We had this range going on, and it's such a beautiful range that we were trading in the group. Ultimately, lost it, as I was saying in the previous stream as well. It rejected that daily, broke. That was a fake out of that big triangle, lost it, went down to that lower value area low. Ultimately, we've now come and got back into this monthly level. So we've got this current monthly level coming in at 23,300, which is a very significant level that we're going to be aware of. And then we've got that weekly level at 24,297. So with confluence, with the speed fan and the Fibonacci, we can then just stop monitoring these levels and see when we get to these bigger levels, what are the divergences looking like in the CVD and all those. So yeah, that's basically a nice update on Bitcoin. I just personally, I don't like this quick retrace at the moment. I'm going to monitor this. So I really like to see time playing out. And at the end of the day, if we do look at the time that this retrace happened, I don't like it too much. Looking locally from this low to high, we haven't even gone down to the 618 yet, nor the 121. So we can see if we go on the 4 hour, we do have the 618 coming in on the 19th of September, but obviously now we're already on high. So this not that it couldn't, it could come up and drop, but I mean, it's not as, this is looking for support. So our next support, we're looking at about 11 October for the 121 coming in. You know, retraces generally do take longer than your impulse waves, but now that we are in a macro downtrend, so technically the downtrend is the impulse, and we're now waiting for the next impulse to happen. So I'm just monitoring this and looking where we're going to reject. So what we can do is currently, if we go from this high to low, sorry, let's just redo that quickly. That high pivot to that low pivot. That's not precise, but anyway, we're coming into the 21 September and 29 September is the 121. So we can even go a little bit past that. But we can ultimately look for resistance coming up into these levels coming in the next couple of days, and then look for another rally down. And as I was saying, then we'll start looking at resistance again, coming into this area and possibly even to the one that's 618, or in between there. So in between October to the end of October, it all depends on where we reject now. It's not to say that we're going to reject. I was mentioning in the previous stream that the current low, this current retrace is taking extremely long. And from that pivot to that pivot, we do have the 1.618 that's coming to that exact low. So this retrace has been taking, it's very long, very, very long retrace. And if we can even add on the 2 on there, let's just quickly see where that 2 is. 2 to 2. Yeah, we can see the 2 to 2 is already surpassed the 2 to 2. So it's a very significant low. And if we do get this rally up, we can definitely see much higher on the chart. And that first test will obviously be that 31K area. But I really just wanted to mention that I do not like the time that we've currently spent on this retrace. So we could potentially, wherever we do reject, we can look for lower targets. Obviously, ultimately, if we do not want to break that low, look for the wave 1 into a 2. We don't want to lose this lower wave. So we can come down and test these lows again, depending on how high we go on the chart. If we go all the way to that weekly, that 121 will grab those lows again. But I mean, this is just making a plan. It's very tight, if I can put it that way. Then if we do come and put these lows in, we can then start looking at the one at 618 as like a 1, 2, 3, do a 4 retrace, and then look for a wave 5 breaking these highs, do another deeper retrace towards this profile area in the future, and then from there ultimately looking higher. So, you know, it can take very long to play out to get towards the 100K area. But I'm just aware of that we can make a macro low if this low stays intact. As soon as we lose this low, yeah, we'll definitely be looking for lower target, possibly grabbing a massive liquidity grab. That would be absolutely beautiful into that 16K area that I was mentioning before, grabbing a lot of liquidity and then having a nice rally up, doing like a massive swing failure pattern, and then a lot of guys will start pumping in, and we can see a very quick rise in price for a quick wave 1 impulse, and then a wave 2 retrace. But yeah, we got to see and monitor what's currently going to happen. If we're going to break that value area high, monthly stay above it, and then go higher to test those upper levels. But I just don't like this current retrace. So I'm just going to monitor this. I'm going to monitor the bearish CVD. A lot of people are now looking at this as going higher, obviously with higher low. And it is very good to be looking for higher. If you're in these longs, there's no reason to think otherwise that we can go higher. So it's still part of my plan to go higher. I'm just going to monitor this and see if we can claim these prices to go for that. And then we can see, obviously, that's a 1-2 very quick retrace, but, you know, we can still go higher. But I'm definitely monitoring the retrace to see if we can do a nice retrace and then ultimately get that rally up. Because a lot of guys are going to buy. And if we get too many buyers coming in at these highs, and then we get another long squeeze for shorts, then we can just monitor that as well. So it's very important to look at your divergences coming in at the moment. But yeah, while we're below the 25K, we're still in a macro downtrend. We'll just monitor that and see what's going to come next. So that's a nice little update for Bitcoin, and absolutely amazing levels that we can be aware of, and we're aware of the time that I mentioned. So just monitor that, please, guys. It's very important to know that we're not going to be greedy. You're taking profits on your longs now. It's a very key support, a resistance level, and we can start looking for shorts coming into this area. We have also come into a weekly order block, which I also just want to mention. So this is the first area of that weekly order block, and that is the first area of resistance. So the next section is at 0.5 at the 23,800 level. That's also a valid area of resistance coming in over there. I actually just want to do another volume profile pool. If you just do another low to high, yeah, see, that's that valid area high coming in. If we do this whole area, the valid area high next is coming a little bit higher into the 23K area, which again is coming into that monthly, such a big level. We can definitely be aware of those volume profiles. If we do a volume of this drop, we can see it's absolutely, there's no volume going into these areas. So, I mean, with this in mind, there's no real resistance, but we obviously are aware of this SR level. But in terms of this candle, we can still fill these single print areas, and then obviously we've got this whole range. If we do break this high, we can have a massive rally up. That's going to just smash through towards this upper resistance level. So that's also something to be aware of. We've got a lot of guys having their stops now of their shorts. If this gets stopped out with that liquidity, we can definitely run much higher very quickly. So just be aware of that. Don't go in short. Wait for the reaction and see if it claims and runs. Get out of your shorts. But ultimately, we just short the highs and we long the lows. So we're in a very fortunate position being in short hedges and shorts and taking profits on those shorts. And we've also been in longs every single drop, taking profits, and now taking longs from this low again, after taking profits on the short. Now you look for take profits on your longs and start looking for shorts. That is how we trade. That is how you can start literally hedging your portfolio, hedging your accounts. Don't be greedy on the market. Pay yourself. Take new trades. Never try and go to the moon. Never try and short down all the way. Take your profits and pay yourself. And that is how we want to trade and look after our portfolio. Then what we can also look at is the Ethereum price. This is the ETH BTC chart. I was mentioning that we're coming into these weekly resistance levels. We've ultimately broke above that area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see, that's a nice little, could be, we're looking for a correction on ETH BTC now, possibly. So we'll just monitor that. If we do break this low, we can look for a correction on ETH BTC. We'll just monitor Ethereum on that. So Ethereum is also coming into resistance currently. As mentioned, this is still that global area low. Might have shifted a little, but I haven't updated that global profile range. So you can just do that all the way from the left. And then, yeah, currently we're looking for resistance on Ethereum. So we can just try and see where we are now. Also coming to the 618, having that little bit of rejection. We've got this point of control global. That's a very big level to be aware of. So if we do claim this level, we can obviously look for higher as well. But currently it is looking more like a, coming in. We took these lows. We haven't taken these lows. So it's still a bullish market structure. However, we have taken 1, 2 lows, and we could possibly look down for another retrace coming to test these highs. And that comes in confluence with Bitcoin. If we do get resistance on Bitcoin, we look for that drop on Bitcoin. And that could happen on Ethereum as well in confluence with ETH BTC. Looking at the altcoins are looking a little bit weaker now compared to looking at the ETH BTC. Let's just look at the Bitcoin dominance price, see where that is currently heading. Okay, well, yeah, so we've taken these lows and we had the massive rally up in the Bitcoin dominance. So we can definitely start looking at Bitcoin starting to take over a little bit. So that's very interesting. So we can just monitor this That means that Bitcoin is going to be stronger, and you can start trading Bitcoin again, looking for higher on the Bitcoin price. Obviously, your altcoins will still follow as well, but it's not going to be those heavy impulsive moves. So we'll just monitor this. We can look at the dollar. The DXY, I know we mentioned that these key levels are resistance, making another high, looking for that possible drop. So we can now look for market structure change on the DXY, which we're currently getting. Look at that 786 rejection after that drop, currently below the key levels. We can look at monthly as support. But if we do start breaking this market structure, we start back testing and looking for lower. We will be looking to lose these lows, 104 points on the DXY, and losing that monthly, then looking for lower. If that happens, ultimately we can look at Bitcoin for a nice rise. So we'll just be monitoring that on the dollar. Obviously, we can see on the ES, we can see that we've come to test these lovely support levels. I was talking about the 618. Beautiful, got this rise, and that's in confluence with the Bitcoin price. How lovely is that? That's absolutely beautiful. Loving to see this. Coming very close to that 75 speed fan, ultimately 608 coming in as support on this SR level. We can see how that level has been tested. Also, yeah, it's been support. So very lovely to see this 1, 2, 3. You know, this could also still be correction. I mean, it's not impossible. What we can do is look at like a 1-to-1 type of move as we come in. Wow, that'll actually be brilliant. If we do come in and do a little resistance, we're coming in also to the 618, come to take these highs possibly towards the 786. We can look for that 1-to-1 on that monthly. That will be brilliant for like a 1, 2, and then look for the 3 impulse. That'll be brilliant. Also looking macro, we break this trend down, we can look for higher. So I'm definitely monitoring the ES and the SPX. Currently both doing a similar move, coming into that 786 area. Golden pockets, how lovely is that, coming into that? So that is brilliant. So we'll be looking for the market structure change and looking for higher. Ultimately, if we get this, it's definitely looking like a retrace. We can look for that 1-to-1, same. But if we start breaking up, we can look for higher. And then we can look at the Bitcoin really looking for higher prices. Then I'm just quickly going to do some updates. Solana is absolutely a beast. We did lose that 618 and the monthly. Ultimately, we can see it acted as a very good SR level. After we're getting the 786 on this value area low, got above the monthly, and now we're just making ourselves higher. Also, again with Bitcoin, this is looking like a correction phase. So, you know, we just monitor this. We see what's going to happen. Basic. I mean, we can come into these highs and then look for another retrace, and then ultimately see if we make a higher low on the macro term frame. We can look for that higher impulse. So we're just monitoring this. If you're in longs on Solana, you can start looking for taking profits and looking for shorts on Berry Shines. We've got that value area high coming in there still. So, you know, we've got our key levels coming in on Solana, BTC. We can definitely see we are doing that correction. We can't get above the macro 382 just yet, but it is definitely very key support resistance. Currently, we've actually gone over it slightly. We'll just monitor this and see if we can make market structure change. If we break these highs on the Solana BTC, we can possibly look for higher. But yeah, we've got this monthly support coming in. That's very big. Looking at Cardano, absolutely beautiful how it played out this range, made a higher low, coming into this value area low range, breaching it, literally back testing it there. I was talking about this in the previous stream. Such a nice coming up back to having a drop from that monthly level of resistance, coming to test this profile range, the point of control of this whole area. We can actually do an updated one as well quickly. Yeah, you see coming into test that, literally coming back above, back testing it and doing another rise. That is absolutely beautiful on Cardano. Cardano is such a nice trade at the moment. It's 12% rise. So that is very nice. If we look in the Cardano BTC, ADA BTC, I did mention that that will be a macro change of market structure. We have not got there yet. We rejected at the 75 speed fan on this weekly level, couldn't get above this profile range. Ultimately now doing another correction. So this weekly is support. Ultimately, if this is a correction, we can then look towards the 618 and then look for another rally up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We don't know exactly, but it's definitely looking like if we do break these lows, we can look for a correction pattern and then look for higher. As of now, we can look for support definitely on ADA BTC. Tezos also very lovely. I'd come into that monthly into the 618. Beautiful on Tezos. Such a nice coin to trade. We between these two big monthly levels, as we can see. We can clearly see that they are acting as ASR levels. We can make another range down. We can just keep ranging here, and then ultimately whichever side. So we can start look for shorts on bearish signs. This daily is also a very valid daily on Tezos. So we can come there, lose the monthly, look for lower again. But Tezos is very nice to trade as well. I have been looking at this big channel from the lows on Tezos. We currently are coming towards this low on the XTZ BTC after rejecting at the mid channel. Such a lovely channel on Tezos BTC, and we can definitely look for this as acting as support, possibly even taking some lows and then doing a rally up again. So very big level to be aware of on XTZ BTC. So I'm definitely going to be trading Tezos if we do lose these lows. I'm actually going to set some alarms after the stream now. So yeah, that's a lovely little updates that we've got there. Yeah, a little update on Bitcoin. Again, we are at resistance now, coming to that 618 area. And at that speed fan, let's actually just put it up to end off with the stream. Yeah, absolutely lovely. Loving these levels. So let's see what happens with the bearish signs now coming into resistance. Possibly looking for that retrace. It could even be like a 1, 2 coming to test these lows. But that'll be very easy, to be fair. Ultimately, I'm going to start hedging my longs from here. I'm in from long from lower. I had a lot on spot. I said on the group that I am in spot from lower. And yeah, I'm definitely going to start looking for some leverage trades if we do see weakness. I'm going to look at the volume now, look at the CBD, look at everything to take an informed decision and waiting for that sign of weakness. So yeah, that's an update. Very key ISO level at the 618. Next level is the monthly, then that weekly. So we've got very nice levels coming up on the Bitcoin chart, and I'm very excited to see what's going to play out. So I'm going to be updating the group in the next couple of days. I'm going to try and take some trades to show you guys how we do our stop losses and how we do our trades. So yeah, I'm very excited for the next stream. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment. If you guys want to know more, please go out to our website, and you can definitely go out to all of our social media platforms and see what we have to offer. We do definitely do updates on Twitter. We've got our website going up. We've got our affiliate links. So you guys are welcome to head out to our website and see. We also post some updates on there. So yeah, if you guys want to know more, head out to our website. We're opening up our premium very soon as well. That's going to be absolutely amazing. So that's exciting. So yeah, thanks guys. Do leave us a like, and if you guys want to follow our Discord to see how amazing our group is giving updates, you guys are more than welcome to do that. So yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next stream. Cheers, bye.